Rogers has always been driven by the power of what's possible when people connect. When we made the first mobile phone call in Canada, it was to give Canadians the freedom to connect from anywhere.
That it's a great day for Canada to have this new high-tech industry.
Since then, everything we've done has been to empower more connections. More I love yous. More I see you. More collaborating. More navigating. More of the world in the palm of your hand. Today, as we invest in 5G, we see a future of unlimited possibilities. Because 5G is an evolution of network technology today that will revolutionize the way we live tomorrow. With unprecedented speed, ultra-low latency, and the capacity to connect 500 times more devices than 4G, 5G will connect us to information, innovation, and our loved ones in ways we can only imagine. It will transform how we navigate our world, the way lives are saved, how classes are taught, creating more time, more sharing, more moments, more hope. By working with our trusted partners to build Canada's 5G network, we will ensure that what's impossible today won't be tomorrow. This is the next generation of possible. This is 5G from Rogers.
You can make my...
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
And if you want to know what happens when you put 60 gigahertz in a building, you can look up the mystery illness at Nichols Junior High in Arlington, Texas from 3 years ago. And you could see what happens when 60 gigahertz is installed in a public place. And you can see the symptoms. These are the same symptoms that are happening with this alleged COVID, whatever it's called.
For those of you who don't know who I am or have never seen anything I've ever put out or heard anything I've ever said, this is Joe Imbriano, the Fullerton Informer, folks. I've been coming to you for the better part of a decade, trying to expose what is being done to the children in the classrooms with the electromagnetic weaponry that people like to call harmless Wi-Fi. I've been fighting the installation and deployment of these weapons. And make no mistake about these technology systems, they are weaponized. They have been a sacred cow for the last 10 years in every school district in the United States, and not one school board member has been willing to break rank, and not even one teacher has been willing to come forward publicly and oppose the installation of these systems and enter themselves into the public record and stand in opposition. And yet we are now facing them turning these weapons on. 60 gigahertz millimeter waves are a component of the new Wi-Fi systems. It's called WiGig. These chips are included in the industrial strength access points in the schools. I have records from several school districts confirming that the districts do not have any control over the affected radiated power or the frequencies of these industrial strength access points, as they literally install them right out of the box into the classrooms. Every one of these access points has the capability of being remote controlled, off-site, off-premise. Every one of these access points has the ability to have power levels increased and frequencies changed, as well as modulation changed. Every one of these access points in the schools are weaponized. As you will see, when these weaponized systems were installed behind people's backs in 2 schools, you will see the effects on the children. It's absolutely amazing how these people can get ready to do things to our children and expect us not to figure them out. Folks, this is the basis of the entire forced vaccination agenda. They are going to induce illness. This time in the fall, it will be with children in the classrooms, and they're going to blame the virus, and they're going to give us the vaccine. You need to understand 60 gigahertz millimeter wave beamforming oxygen molecule disturbing and disrupting technology that is aimed at your children. This is Joe Imbriano, the Fullerton Informer, and I'm urging all of you to do one of two things. Force the school district to get the technology systems and these weaponized transmitters out of all the classrooms, or remove your children from the schools. That is my stern and solid warning to all of you.
Faster, better, more reliable internet. That's the promise of 5G technology, but there is also the peril. Health hazards associated with radio frequency that is higher also, and requires more transmitters and antennas.
The film you're about to see has no characters. If you spare a little of your imagination, it is a film to describe to you the effect of cymatic frequencies on matter.
Teachers at an Arlington junior high say their building is making them sick. 60 teachers have complained since September. Now the district has suddenly removed its principal.
It is a story News 8 investigator Charlotte Huffman has been digging on for months now. Charlotte?
Well, the removal of the principal is just the latest development in the ongoing crisis at Nichols Junior High. I've talked to more than a dozen different teachers over the last several months. Each one of them told me two things. They only feel sick when they're inside the school, and their principal was the only person they could count on to stand up to the district. Now, the principal is out, and teachers fear they could lose their jobs. That's why the teachers you're about to hear from wanted us to hide their identities.
Every time I go to the school, I get sick. It starts with a headache, and then you get dizzy and lightheaded.
It's a bizarre feeling, and nobody knows what's causing it.
You just feel like almost like you've been to the dentist and they've given you a bunch of laughing gas.
It started more than 130 days ago in September when the principal and another staff member nearly passed out in the main office. They were rushed to the hospital. The school was evacuated. The air was deemed safe. And soon, kids returned to class. But those mysterious illnesses continue.
The really scary thing is that every time it gets worse.
What may be more frightening, we discovered many parents are completely in the dark. I've heard that teachers have been holding classes outside. Oh, that's news to you?
Yes.
Really?
What?
Because they're too scared to be in the building and too scared to put their students in the building.
It's my first time hearing that. That's frustrating. It's like they're trying to keep something from us. We need to know because it's our kids.
She said, Mama, I don't know what's going on in this school, but it's making my head hurt. I don't feel good. I feel like I'm gonna throw up. And I'm like, well, Brianna, just go and lay down. You know, I didn't really think anything of it.
Until Brittany Lang went to the school herself.
And I started to get dizzy. My head started to hurt, nose started to burn. Words was, you know, jittery, hands jittery. And it immediately made me angry.
Because you realized maybe what your daughter had been complaining of was real.
Yes, it was real.
Nichols Junior High is located in North Arlington. The building is 23 years old and situated in a predominantly Black and Hispanic neighborhood. It's a Title I school, meaning the majority of the students, 76%, come from low-income families.
These is our kids, these is our future. That's not just because we're a Title I school that I don't care about us. Let's get down to the bottom of this because it's serious. Teachers are quitting.
Teachers say it wasn't until 6 weeks after the first incident that the district held a meeting to address their concerns. We weren't invited, but obtained this recording in which teachers can be heard begging district officials to take them seriously and inform parents.
I'm begging you, whatever option there is out there, please do it. I just feel like they have a right to know.
Only then did administrators send this letter home to parents. It says, in part, a few staff members have reported feeling ill, but the air is safe and reports do not indicate any unusual number of absences or clinic visits. Teachers say that's simply not true.
It is affecting our students. I have seen students can't catch their breath. It is affecting our students. I have seen students can't catch their breath, have severe headaches.
We're not trying to hide the situation.
Communications Director Leslie Johnston says the district has sent a total of 3 letters home over the past 4 months.
The letters have shared that some staff members have been reporting symptoms.
That some staff members have, but not as many as 60, right?
We haven't shared a specific number. We're being very careful with HIPAA restrictions and privacy restrictions, not to share their personal health information.
Just to be clear, letting parents in on the number of teachers affected would not violate any privacy laws, but there's a lot that parents don't know. Doctors have diagnosed some teachers with an inhalation exposure injury and advised them not to return to school. Is there a concern about maybe creating like mass hysteria unnecessarily by notifying parents of what's really going on?
So we're certainly wanting to keep people informed, but try not to create a panic at the same time. So that is a balance.
Johnston says the district has taken every step to try to solve the mystery.
There's a really large fan in there, you can see.
Kelly Horn is leading that charge. He's executive director of maintenance and agreed to give us a tour. What would you guess it is?
Oh, goodness gracious. I don't know that I could guess at this point. We've looked at so many different things.
From carbon dioxide to sewer gas and mold, the list goes on. The district has spent nearly $28,000 and counting on outside contractors who've been brought in to inspect the HVAC, study air quality, and conduct mold tests.
We continue to search for it, but we've not found anything that we can point to definitively.
Something's going on at the school.
Dr. Elisa Rich is a professor at UNT's School of Public Health. She's a member of the World Health Organization's Chemical Risk Assessment Network, a group of 38 scientists that develop guidelines to reduce the risks of chemical exposures. Teachers contacted Dr. Rich for help. She says she tried, but was escorted out of a district meeting with staff last December.
I was informed that it was a closed meeting, which struck me a little odd.
So we gathered test results and other records obtained during our investigation and put them in front of her for her expert opinion.
That's an inhalation of some type of gas to me. The question is, where's the gas coming from? The question is, what type of gas is it?
What caused it? The air.
the district can pinpoint the cause of the illnesses, some teachers say they just want out.
Please just relocate everyone. I know logistically it might be a nightmare, but it's people's health is involved. It's nothing to mess around with.
Well, the district tells me there are no plans to relocate right now. And you can rewatch the story, see extended interviews, and all the documents that we gathered during our investigation by going to the WFAA app on your cell phone and clicking on the Mystery Illness tile. Charlotte Huffman, Channel 8 News.
What's going on right now, ladies and gentlemen, is they are retooling all of the electromagnetic weaponry in all public places. I'm going to repeat this, folks. And in the name of Jesus Christ, I ask for protection over myself and my family and all of us who are involved in this information war. They have closed the cruise ships. They have closed the schools. They have closed the high schools. They've closed the colleges. They've closed the universities. They've closed the churches. They're closing casinos. They're closing hotels. They've closed government buildings. And they're forcing you all to stay inside because they are reinstalling the microwave and millimeter wave electromagnetic weaponry right now as you're focused on toilet paper and watching people walking around with masks on the screens. Those white vans are going into all these buildings and changing out the chips and making sure that the new Wi-Fi systems have the weaponized frequencies in them. That's right, folks. They're going to go to 6 gigahertz, which is the absorption spectrum of iodine, and 60 gigahertz, which is the absorption spectrum of oxygen. They are retooling the electromagnetic weaponry that is installed everywhere all over the world right now. All right? There is no coronavirus, folks. This is a psychological warfare hoax to get you locked down so they can lock down all the public places and put the weaponry in. That's what they're doing. Everything is off limits because what they're doing right now is they're either upgrading what's in there or testing what's in there remotely. All of these access points and these Wi-Fi systems all over the world are made by a handful of companies, and the specifications for these products in their product guides are only as good as the paper it's written on. And the truth about these electromagnetic weapons is they're not telling us what they're capable of, nor are they revealing to us that they have backdoors that can be controlled remotely. And ladies and gentlemen, these devices that are in the buildings right now, or the ones that are being upgraded right now as you're locked in your homes, are going to have the weaponized frequencies in them. There is no coronavirus, folks. There is no virus that's killing all these people, all right? What you have are typical flu-like, pneumonia-like, or these are typical deaths. These are typical death rates, folks. They are going all over the place with this propaganda. They have locked down the entire world so they can get in there with nobody looking to upgrade their weaponry, ladies and gentlemen. And in those places that the weaponry is already installed, they're testing it. At some point in the future, they are going to go live with a full-on millimeter wave pushing catastrophe that's going to result in all kinds of people getting sick and dying from electromagnetic exposure from 60 gigahertz oxygen molecule frequency transmissions coming from the weaponry in the cruise ships, in the homes, in the airplanes, in the schools, in the libraries, in the government buildings, in the churches. They're putting this everywhere, everywhere that has Wi-Fi right now.
And as this U.S. map shows you, AT&T and Verizon are making progress, though AT&T is outpacing Verizon in city 5G mobility deployment by nearly 6-to-1. And as of April 24th, 2020, AT&T has mobile 5G deployed in 201 cities, while Verizon is in 34. And if you're an AT&T customer, here's a scrolling list of the 201 cities where mobile 5G is now present. You can pause this video at any time to read the listed cities in your state when they appear in the scrolling list. Major cities in Alabama through Kansas and Kentucky through Wisconsin are noted.
So at some point in the future, they will be able to induce a massive die-off or pandemic, they're going to show symptoms of respiratory distress or neuroinvasive paralytic disease. They'll either bring back some electromagnetically induced polio type disease or some electromagnetically induced thing like the Spanish flu, where people are going to drop like flies, and they're going to blame it on a fake virus that doesn't exist, and they're going to have the vaccines ready, and they're going to make you take those vaccines, and they're going to make you go away and possibly be interned, and they're going to make you disappear if you're labeled as a carrier. We have a short window of time to expose what they're up to, folks. What is going on right now is nothing more than a psyop and a cover for them to get all their weaponry installed and get everything closed down so they can get their guys in there and remote control and test everything to make sure it's working right. Millimeter waves transmitting from the new Wi-Fi systems will be at 60 gigahertz and 6 gigahertz and 2.4 and 5 gigahertz. But here's the deal, folks. They're going after the iodine molecules in the air, and they're going after the oxygen in the air with this new electromagnetic weaponry. I need you to understand that these systems are not in operation right now, and the illness is not there. No one's getting sick from millimeter waves right now because no one's getting blasted with them. When they roll this stuff out, after this hoax is over and you've all had they've closed the schools, but the cafeterias are open. They're bringing in all the cruise ships. They're grounding all the airplanes. This is a technology upgrade for the entire world. And if you don't think it's possible, think about this for just a minute. The small handful of people that are controlling the world have shown their hand right now because they have managed to lock the whole world down.
New at 10, Green Country parents at a loss for words, concern for their child's life. An alarming number of Dewey High School girls paralyzed after having seizures, and no one knows why.
2WORKS reporter Travis Guillory spoke to parents who have more questions than answers.
That's right. Parents are trying to figure out what's going on, but they aren't getting the answers they need. Dewey Public Schools Superintendent Vince Vincent released information today about the incidents, but one dad says it leaves more questions than answers.
I'm letting my daughter go every day, and it's like rolling the dice. She may wake up the next morning not be able to move her legs. She may be at school and have seizures. She may not be able to speak right.
James Cutler's daughter is terrified to walk through the doors of Dewey High School.
She said, I'm not sure if I can use the facilities, if I can drink water there, what I can touch, what I can't touch. And that's when it hit me. I'd have no answer for my daughter.
The superintendent tried to provide those answers Friday in a press release. He said the Department of Health conducted water and mold tests, but neither found anything suspicious. Although the superintendent did say a number of students were diagnosed with conversion disorder.
And if that's the case, you know, we need to be educated more on that. And if it's not, then we need to look other directions too, in case it isn't this.
Conversion disorder is described as a mental condition in which a person feels paralyzed or has other nerve system symptoms that can't be explained by medical evaluation. But with up to 20 girls having seizures and similar symptoms, parents are still puzzled.
We've got a little bit of something to go with, but now we've got more questions.
With no medical explanation or common denominator, Cutler says he isn't sure where to turn, but knows someone has to find a solution.
This is why I'm wanting help. For the community, for our girls.
The Department of Health tells 2WORKS for You the agency is no longer investigating because nothing came up in the mold and water tests. The superintendent said Dewey Public Schools is now working with the Department of Environmental Quality. In the studio, Travis Guillory, 2WORKS for You.
The reason they want your children back in school is so they can use beamforming weaponized 60 gigahertz millimeter wave, weaponized radio frequency
emissions aimed at their faces to make them lose their breath and succumb to an illness that will mimic a respiratory ailment that they will blame on the coming COVID-20 that they're going to roll out.
We are about to take off. Please fasten your seatbelts and turn off all personal electronic devices. Enjoy your flight.
The new Huawei Ascend P1.
Gates wants your children in the classrooms. K through 12 children are going to go to school in the fall. Why? Why are they not talking about this, folks? Gates wants your children back in the school in the fall. Harvard wants your children back in the school. They don't want you homeschooling. They want children in the classrooms. Why? Why? Why do they want your children in the classroom? So they can use the weaponry on your children.
First at 5 o'clock, some parents in Dewey are concerned for their children's health after several students had seizures and trouble walking and talking. News on 6's Amy Slanchik is live on this story with what the school and parents are saying tonight. Amy?
Terry and Lori, I've spoken with several parents today, and one tells me their child has had seizures for months. Other parents say symptoms have just started showing up in the last few days.
Lexi, are you okay?
Tara Madden says she hasn't had a normal conversation with her daughter Alexis since Wednesday. She says Alexis is barely able to get her words out. She shared video with us of her daughter's symptoms: trouble talking and walking.
She can't walk. She walks like a toddler. Learning how to walk for the first time.
Tara says a doctor told her Alexis has what's called conversion disorder, and the Dewey 9th grader isn't alone. Superintendent Vince Vincent says several students have been diagnosed with the same thing, a psychological disorder with symptoms in response to stress and anxiety.
It's scary. I don't know what to do.
In a letter to parents, Vincent explains the school has no information that would lead it to believe the school buildings are unsafe or that they're dealing with anything contagious. He also says the school had water and mold tests completed and found no health concerns. As for Tara and her daughter,
I'm waiting on a neurologist to call me back so they can run some tests on her.
She's hoping to see improvements in her health very soon.
I seriously think there's something wrong with her.
The state health department says this is not an infectious issue and that it is not investigating the situation. To read the letter from the Dewey superintendent in its entirety, just visit our News on 6 app. Reporting live on the scene on the story in Dewey, Amy Slanchik, News on 6.
Is some information that I've held off on releasing for some time until the time was right. We're at that point now, folks. The weaponized classrooms are about to be turned on. The millimeter wave systems are not on the poles. They're not on the 5G towers yet, but they are in the classrooms. By and large, the WiGig chips are in the industrial strength access points in the schools. There are very concerning statements regarding our schools and our children being made by not only people like Gates and Mr. Trump, as well as prime ministers of other nations about how social distancing does not apply to children in schools, how the children need to go back to school, how they have to go back into the face-to-face environment, even though you and I cannot go to a hotel, we can't go out to dinner, but the children can be crammed into the classrooms. Folks, there's a reason why they've been working on weaponizing classrooms for a very, very long time. I've spent the better part of the last decade fighting the installation of these weaponized Wi-Fi, WiGig, millimeter wave attack systems that are now aimed at our children. There were 2 schools where this weaponry was tested that I have documented here, and you can take a look for yourselves and see what to expect when you turn your backs on the children, folks. The classrooms have the weaponry. The only thing that these controllers and these monsters need are the bodies. And I'm telling you right now, folks, it's always been about inducing illness with electromagnetic weaponry and blaming a virus to force a vaccine. That is the playbook, folks, and they're about to go live with this scenario in the fall. You have 2 choices as a parent. You can remove your children from the schools, or you can get the schools to remove the weaponry. There is no third option. And be sure to share this and download it and get it to everybody you know. This is a very, very unique opportunity to get out in front of their narrative and discredit their phony baloney narrative that they've been pushing, and expose the truth and expose the players and save the children.
King Solomon knew the secret. The technology that we're speaking of happened a long time before. This is what the Templars were after. This is why all of the New World Order, Illuminati, Freemasons follow Solomon. The Templars who found something, what they were looking for, information that Solomon had.
So the thing about what's going on now is, how big is the big picture? And I used to think that if you went outside the box, you could see more. And a lot of people believe that this settles at the level of power and control. That if they have all the power, they have all the control, that's what they want. There's actually something beyond that, and that's what I've started to explore. Could it be that artificial materials are being introduced into living things? Here you have, this comes from the nanotech industry. It's what I call the nanotech pyramid. You start with materials, you go up to structures, processes, and devices. Could it be that artificial materials are being introduced into us to create new processes from the ground up, which processes will override our own natural biology, our own internal systems? Nanoarrays are these tiny devices that are used for DNA hybridization. So what processes are going on here? Are these materials combining to form devices that are working together inside us? What is happening to our biology? And remember that tissue samples obtained from ordinary people who have no Morgellons symptoms, no lesions, can be cultured to produce the very same filaments found in people with Morgellons. So we would have to conclude that Morgellons is like the canary in the coal mine, and that only some people are exuding the materials. And could that be because their bodies are rejecting it, while our bodies are integrating it? Jan's body has been sending out these plaques, colored plaques, which are hard pieces of silica. Some of them have these dots on them. They're very small. They require handling with a needle as she places them under a microscope. The plaques are fragile. They can shatter. Quantum dots, which are the colors you see, are nanocrystal semiconductors made of heavy metals surrounded by an organic shell. Now I want you to remember some of these terms. Heavy metals, okay? Heavy metals, aluminum and so forth. So these are nanocrystal semiconductors surrounded by an organic shell, but they are made of heavy metals. And Morgellons subjects are also finding this stuff. Jewel-like hexagons, faceted pyramids, crystals. Hexagons have shown up environmentally, not only in tissues, but they are in environmental fallout. This specimen is provided by Morgellons Research Group, and we have a table here this weekend, Mike and Jennifer from Morgellons Research Group. Just as we're being sold on the idea of a smart environment, a techno-matrix that will vibrate with not just intelligence but connection. What indeed is the World Wide Web? We may think it's the internet, but it will be the humming network of everything connected through ubiquitous intelligence, intelligence that is everywhere. Artificial intelligence will connect the world. Homo sapien will be transformed into Homo evolutus. Biological processes will be run by technology. Living things will not be reproductive. The earth will be populated with engineered species, and all processes will be patented, licensed, and controlled.
You have nothing but spindly limbs and a dream, and the state has no use for your kind.
I don't care. I tell you, I don't care. I'm a human being. I exist. And if I speak one thought aloud, that thought lives, even after I'm shoveled into my grave.
The first generation wireless, 1G, was voice. The second generation, 2G, allowed both talk and text. The third generation, 3G, the internet, in a limited way. And today's technology, 4G, completed that digital migration. But if anyone tells you that they know the details of what 5G is going to become, run the other way.
I have to tell people 5G is a killer. I'm Mark Steele. Anybody who hasn't heard me. I'm a weapons systems head-up display expert, one of the leading experts in the world. I've actually brought cover in relation to this, and the reason I became an expert was because I invented it. What I'm going to say to you today, do not believe a single word I say. Not one. I want you to do your research.
And we're going to talk about 7G too. But get a load of this commercial, which I am not going to play the sound for. Now check this out. This is their T-Mobile secret 5G lab right here, okay? I want you to notice the color scheme. Notice how everything is purple, scarlet, right? Red and blue combinations, just like the Morgellons. And now they're ready to cut loose with the 5G. But before they do, they get an incoming call from John the Revelator, because this is all prophesied. This is the mark of the beast and the beast system being put into effect. Then the CEO pops up. He's representing the angel of light right in front of your eyes. That's what it is. And he tells them to light it up.
It's time. Let's light it up.
And they got their little T-Mobile Tau Cross logos on. And they're getting ready to launch ICBMs because they're going through the same sequence you would go through for a missile launch.
Enter launch code.
Entering launch code. Target sequence complete.
Insert launch key.
T-minus 50.
Number 1 enabled. 2 enabled.
On my mark, rotate launch keys to launch.
Roger, ready to go to launch.
And notice the keys. Boom. Let's light it up. And look what they launch. You just can't make this stuff up, you guys. They are releasing the demons into the world through this medium. The chemtrails, the 5G, the airwaves, so on and so forth, and releasing them out into the world. Look at that. It looks like Kansas, don't it? Looks just like Kansas.
We're not in Kansas anymore.
These look like chemtrails, and they're turning the whole landscape into this purple hellhole, putting you into an augmented reality and harvesting your life energy, your light, your very will, because that's what they want, your free will, and most will freely give it up, eventually taking the mark of the beast. This is what's going on. The chemtrails change the climate because that's your climate change. What do you think is going to happen when you dump trillions of tons of nanoparticulates into the atmosphere? You're going to change the climate. You understand? They're playing God, and they're distributing nanotech through the chemtrails.
It's airborne. It's not a single fiber here and there. It is glowing under UV light. So if you take a UV lamp at night, you can see those fibers airborne. And there are billions of them. And these fibers is infecting the human body. And with 95% or 99% of the people, nothing special happens. They just function as a plasmonic antenna to send out a signal, but you don't get sick from it. You don't get ill. No visible symptoms. So we would guess 100% of the population is infected. Some of the people cannot handle it. And at a certain point, they are extracted via the skin. And you can see that they have this ability to collect colors. You have blue Morgellons and you have red Morgellons. And nobody knows where these colors come from because they are of technical origin. It's not a natural substance. So you can see them when the skin is opening. You can see them under the microscope if you make a blood analysis. And you can let them grow artificially in a petri dish. And if you look at them, you see they're a little bit more complex than a simple fungus. They have kind of organs inside. They have little red stem cells of an unknown species that are self-replicating as well.
Which works in sync with the 5G.
Nanocells are real small. 1,000 times smaller than these dust particulates. You inhale it, they go to work, replicating, spreading like a virus, multiplying in exponentials. 6 months' time, I could have 100 million people converted, ditch diggers, porn stars, and presidents. Not one would be the wiser. 100 million people will buy what I want them to buy and do pretty much damn well anything I figure they ought to do.
What? A chemtrail. I do know what a chemtrail is. Yeah, and is it true? Well, there's a big debate. Yeah. Are you filming me? Maybe. Okay. No. I don't want to go on record with that. Okay. No, but do you believe it? I don't think no. Well, I don't have enough information for that. Okay. Yeah, but because I saw a lot of videos on the internet, and it really looks believable. Well, it's arguable both ways, I think. Yeah? Depends on which side you're on, but... Yeah. But what is your personal opinion of it? I think there's part of truth. Part of truth, yeah. Yeah, we should investigate this, because when it's true, imagine so many people, they suffer of this. Okay. Yeah, it's a necessary evil.
About the chemtrail generator. Oh. So let's make sure that thing's working. We're going to check yourself. I got it. 3.6. Oh, look at that. They're working. They're working. You can see the chemtrails coming out of the engines here. Look at that. I'm dying to take a picture of that's cool. My neighbor. You got it. So chemtrail generator. I'm doing the video. Chemtrail generators are on. And yeah, there it is. Look, you can see them. Oh, hey, that's awesome. It's working.
Yeah. One thing I did is I grabbed mine, and I go along the basic guidelines. I got mine as an example every time. And this one.
my brow and I spread my eyes. I'm breathing in the chemicals. I'm breaking in, shaping out, and checking out on the prisoners. This is it, the apocalypse. Whoa. Don my clones, it's a revolution, I suppose. We're painted red to fit right in. Whoa. I'm breaking in, shaping up, and checking out on the prisoners. This is it, the apocalypse. I'm waking up. To make my system go. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. Radioactive, radioactive. Radioactive, radioactive. Systems grow. Sun hasn't died deep in my bones, straight from inside. While systems grow, the sun hasn't died deep in my bones, straight from inside.
I'd like to call to order this secret conclave of America's media empires. We're here to come up with the next phony baloney crisis to put Americans back where they belong, in dark rooms glued to their televisions, too terrified to skip the commercials.
Well, I think...
NBC, you are here to listen and not speak. I think we should go with a good old-fashioned public health scare.
A new disease. No one's immune. It's like the summer of the shark, except instead of a shark, it's an epidemic. And instead of summer, it's all the time.
That is smoking. Now, I hate to be the guy who derails what everybody else loves.
He loves being that guy.
But, Janice, we do have standards. This can't be a made-up disease. The only moral thing to do is release a deadly virus into the general public.
We do have something we've been holding on to, but it hasn't been tested. Get over here, NBC.
Well, we certainly believe in testing, but Wow. Oh, yeah.
So, we've got our deadly disease. Now, we just have to blame it on something that's in every household, something that people are a little bit afraid of already. House cat flu is coming, people. The Center for Disease Disinformation predicts with some degree of probability that the house cat flu might spread in the following hypothetical outbreak pattern. So petter beware, that warm body on your lap just might be ready to destroy your tender victuals. Springfielders are advised to stay tuned for more information if they experience any of the following symptoms: mild thirst, occasional hunger, tiredness at night.
Gotta get a juicer, gotta drink juice, lose weight, won't get chest pain from answering the phone anymore.
Please don't tell the supervisor I have the flu. I've been working with a shattered pelvis for 3 weeks.
Oh, my juice loosener's never gonna come.
Hey, Dad, this came for you in the mail.
Mother, get an extra special hug ready. I bought you a new juicer. Good Lord. Flu germs entering every orifice in my head.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. What the?
The dreaded Osaka flu has hit Springfield with over 300 cases now reported. Now over to Arnie Pie with Arnie in the Sky.
Route 401 is going around and around and around and around and around. And look out at the corner of 12th and Main because I'm going to be sick. Whoop.
Okay, Mr. Sun, give me what you got.
98.6. You're fine. Now hurry up or you'll miss your bus. Maybe you better take that temperature one more time.
Everything owes its existence solely and completely to sound.
if anyone tells you that they know the details of what 5G is going to become, run the other way.
Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. Bop, bop, dum, bop. I think I can make it now. The pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here comes that rain I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. Bop, bop, dum, bop.